hello to Crypticon. Hello, Crypticon.
Hello.
Hello.
This one works.
That
as
one
well.
works better. Hey, these are all working. I'm going back to this one. Hey, we are That's No Movie. We are an improvised comedy team. We make up movies on the spot of like different genres, all over the globe. We're all over the globe. We come to Kansas City like once in a blue moon. We're gonna do a zombie movie tonight, and we're gonna mash it up with another genre. And you've all seen zombie movies. You know what happens. Dystopian, people get eaten, humans kill more other humans than zombies usually. It's kind of that kind of thing. But we have some other like non-horror genres that we're gonna mash those up with. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna spin a wheel, get a random number, and we're gonna figure out which one we're combining that with. All right, 5, Lifetime movie. You all probably haven't watched a bunch of Lifetime movies. I don't know. Maybe you have.
I love Lifetime!
I know.
Men are horrible. That's the main message from a Lifetime movie.
Yes. So are other women.
That's true. Pretty much everybody is horrible to each other in a Lifetime movie.
Yeah. Everyone's lying. Everyone's deceitful. Everyone's drunk all the time.
There's a lot of family squabbles, like she's got problems with her husband, problems with her ex-husband, problems with her child, problems with her child's ex-husband, all these things going on.
But in the end, she overcomes.
Yes.
That's true, she does overcome.
Yes, speaking of terrible relationships, actually the opposite of that. 2 of our members are getting married here shortly, and this is our last show before they get married, so, you know, if you want to get anything out during this set, or, I don't know, you're free to do that.
In improv, when you get married, you merge into one person.
You do, you turn into one super person. But yeah,
Their marriage is not going to be like a Lifetime movie. Their marriage is going to be wonderful.
yes.
It is. But one thing about a Lifetime movie is frequently the main character is an actress who used to be maybe on a sitcom or something like that. And this is like her dramatic role, but it's not very good. The acting is really overdone. There are lots of really intense close-ups on her shocked face.
Either that or she's making her comeback. Like she fell off the face of the planet for like drug use, or she got real fat or something, and like this is her way to come back into the
Yes.
All right. So with that, all we need to get started is any line from any song ever.
I heard teabag.
Teabag is our suggestion. Thank you, Deadpool.
We open on a small suburban cafe. There is a round table in the center. There is a woman here seated at the table drinking a cup of hot tea.
Next to the cup of hot tea is just a carafe of wine. It's a giant carafe of wine.
There's on the side of the carafe of wine, there are some letters that says, "In case of emergency." You recognize the actress. She was the star of your favorite 90s sitcom, I've Got Too Many Kids.
Seated across from her is a dashing young man with sandy blonde hair. He's staring longingly at the woman across the table.
It's obvious that he is much younger than the actress is, even though it's also obvious that they are supposed to be the same age.
Yeah, like the woman here is, you can see like gray hair poking out underneath the wig that she's wearing. Like it was kind of messily done. There's just like a bunch of Vaseline on the side of her eyes. Apparently that mask any kind of wrinkles or aging.
And the guy, he's actually just wearing like Oshkosh Bagosh suspenders.
His shoes are untied and like his socks don't match. None of his outfit matches.
He's got a propeller cap on.
We cut from here to an office place. We see it's like obviously it's like a retro kind of like early 2000s vibe. There's like lots of people walking by with BlackBerry phones and stuff. Everyone has on a suit. Everyone has on a suit. Like even the janitor has a suit as they're walking by.
The janitor is mopping up a small puddle of toxic waste. It's green, it's gooey, and it's giving off reflective lenses against the camera.
We know it's toxic waste because there's a tipped over barrel that says toxic waste with like a skull and crossbones face on it.
Even though it is toxic waste, people are walking straight through it, tracking it up and down the hallways. We cut from here to a federal building. You know it's a federal building because it says federal building. Yeah, we zoom in. It's one of the offices. As we see television screens all over the office with the news.
This room is obviously the newsroom because it has a sign that says newsroom above it. All the TVs are actually pictures of the outside of this building itself.
We see a small screen here with that shows what's being broadcast. There is an anchor being broadcast, and there is a chyron on the screen that says, "The dead are rising. Is it a man's fault?"
The camera, the view of the TV kind of splits into two, so there's two channels. And next to that man is a priest. He has on like a collar, and he's holding the biggest Bible you've ever seen in your life. And he's just chastising the screen. We see behind him there are windows that are boarded up and are pushing inward. Like you can see a force pushing the window forward.
The camera pans down from the TVs altogether, and we see a group of like older men with like male pattern baldness in military uniforms sitting around a table. They're all like have like clipboards with like notes and they're like reports and things. We fade to black as like some crazy blood splatters onto the screen and forms the words.
Whine about zombies. We open back in the cafe.
Gloria, I thought it was time that we finally took this to the next level. I mean, I know you've been divorced for a few months now, and we've been working together a while now, and I just, as your boss, I just wanted you to know that I really appreciate you as an employee.
We cut to a close-up on Gloria as we see she's just drinking wine and not really listening.
We see that she has like earbuds in her ear connected to a 1980s Walkman.
And Gloria, it's been really hard for me ever since my wife died, but you remind me so much of her.
We cut back.
And Gloria, it's just, I feel like I can really open myself. What? Gloria.
Oh, hi, Jimmy.
Gloria, you didn't even hear that, did you?
I can see in your eyes that you're trying to tell me something important, and I can feel it. And it's okay. It's okay. It'll be okay.
Okay, Gloria. I'm going to tell you this. While you've been in your wine-induced stupor, the entire planet has been overrun by the living dead.
We cut to a wider shot of this scene, and we see that the staff of the cafe is all zombies. We haven't noticed it before this, but they're like carrying across coffee and mugs and are obviously zombies. We cut back.
And Gloria, the only reason that we haven't been attacked by zombies thus far is because I have filled blood and guts of the dead in your wine, and the smell is is keeping them away from us.
You have tainted my 1987 Pinot Noir?
I'm ashamed to admit.
Oh! How dare you!
Gloria, when you slap me, you remind me even more of my wife than before.
We cut to outside and we see Gloria running away, and it's just raining down on her. There are zombies following her as she runs away. We cut from here to the inside of the corporation with the toxic waste.
Clean up on floor 17?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm getting right to it, sir. It's just this nuclear waste is here, and I figured I'd get all that taken care of before I went.
Right. Well, if that's what you must do.
Sir, I don't think it's very safe to have people walking through this corridor, as they're just tracking more of it further around the building.
Well, that's why we've hired you, Sebastian, to clean up around here. Exactly for that reason.
Yes, sir. I'm just worried about the adverse effects of this nuclear waste on.
The camera zooms into the fallen employee as we see the waste just slowly taking over her body. Her skin turns a pale green, and her eyes start getting bloody red.
We cut to an overhead shot of her as she just becomes more and more zombified.
We see her become completely zombified, and then she walks over and puts on a suit. It's a well-fitting, crisp Calvin Klein suit. It fits like a glove on her zombie body.
A small chyron on the screen comes up that says, "Up next, Rizzoli and Isles."
We cut back to see the janitor and his bots just watching all this happen. As I was saying, I think there may be some adverse health effects. Look at this person is clearly not all right.
Sebastian, as you should know, it's against HR regulations to watch another associate, including an undead associate, dress. Sebastian, I think that this is very, very inappropriate of you to do.
We cut to outside the corporation, and we see him with a box with all his stuff in it. It begins raining on him, and zombies start chasing him from behind. He runs into the girl from the first scene.
Are you trying to run away from your life as well?
Yeah, seems like things are really going downhill.
Yeah, everyone are zombies. And my boyfriend contaminated my wine. And I have nothing to live for anymore.
Let's get out of here. I think I know a good place to hold up.
Okay, I trust you.
We cut from here to a wide shot of an abandoned cabin in the woods. The windows are all boarded up, and the front door is kind of hanging off of its hinges, though it does still have a latch.
The camera goes into the front door of the cabin and then down a secret elevator tunnel where we see the federal building full of balding generals in suits.
Around the federal building is like a fake daytime curtain that's been put up to make it look like daytime all the time around here. We zoom in, and like a smoke of cigars from the table fills the room as the scene begins.
Johnson? What? Mahoney? This is a national crisis. This could be going on international now. There are dead people rising from the grave, coming after living people.
I don't see the problem. No one can make the connection between us and Evil Corp that developed the nuclear waste that is making the zombies.
That. Well, gentlemen, as secretary, I do have to tell you something. There might be a paper trail because we paid him with checks. So.
Why are we still paying with checks?
It's 2004.
I wanted to make sure that I could track the expenses, okay? It's really important to me that I know exactly where the money goes. I need to know what we've been paying for so that I know what we can cut out of the budget next year. I'm trying to streamline for you.
The camera cuts to the window behind them with the fake curtain, and we see a hand just start banging on it from the outside. We cut back.
It seems they've breached the underground outdoor federal building.
That ought to be impossible, gentlemen.
Nothing is impossible with the undead Johnson.
You're right. I mean, they're really sneaky.
Johnson, I want you to do this for us. I want you to sacrifice yourself.
It's the only way.
You know, you're right. Tell my wife that I loved her a whole lot.
Your wife is probably already dead. She didn't have clearance to be in the bunker.
Suddenly a hand comes from behind Johnson and just grabs him and drags him from behind the curtain. And all we see are pieces of his hand and arm and leg fall back into the room.
There's like multiple, like too many hands for one person to have been cut up into pieces. They just keep flying through, and so are like multiple legs and bones, like 7 femurs shoot through the window.
Well, Mahoney, it's just us now.
That's the way I've always wanted it.
Mahoney, I need to tell you something. Johnson, dead. Everyone else in this bunker, dead.
Yeah.
It's just us.
Yeah.
Mahoney, one of us is gonna make it out of here alive, and you know what the other one's gonna do?
Die.
Die.
May the best man win.
We cut from here to a car driving down the road, an empty, deserted road. As you zoom in, you see Gloria and the janitor sitting in the car, driving through just wastelanders. They pass cars in flames and just absolute chaos.
But they seem to be having like a lovely conversation, like a new couple. There's a cryon that says 2 weeks later, and in the back seat there's like roses and groceries.
This is just, you know, you never think about it, but like road trips are just the only way to really see the country anymore. You know?
We cut to a shot from their point of view through the windshield of the car, and you see just zombies on the side of the road as they pass. Just we cut back.
I mean, it's just, you know, it's so peaceful and like, you really get it, like Americana, you know?
Yeah. Oh! You hit another one.
Yep, mark it down. What color was his shirt? That's been the game we've been playing, right?
It was green.
Green?
Yeah.
A zombie smashes on their windshield, but then the windshield wipers just knock it away.
Reinforced windshield wipers.
I know, we're gonna have to stop and get some fluid before long, because I'm just all the blood on the windshield.
It cuts to 12 minutes later and they're playing a game of I Spy.
I spy with my little eye something. Oh. Something with a Rolex.
It's a zombie.
Yeah, it was that zombie. We're having so much fun.
We are.
Suddenly there is a shake of the car as a tire is blown, and they are forced to the side of the road.
Oh no.
Hey, that's all right. I mean,
Yeah.
where do we have to be? This is just another crazy part of our long adventure.
What is a road trip without a blown tire?
I know. It's like this is just the classic things that happen.
We cut to a shot from inside the car looking out. They have landed their car right in front of a shopping mall. We cut to them inside the shopping mall. It's totally abandoned.
Well, I've always dreamed of going to a shopping mall. All like just
having the
myself.
run of the place?
Yes.
Yes.
I
It's like having a shopping spree or something, but we don't even have to worry about winning.
Look, it's a diamond shop. I mean, that's a pretty heavy clue, right? Like,
Yeah, like I think it's destiny telling
Yeah.
us
we should get married.
we should get married.
Huh?
The camera cuts to a shot, and it's the back of a car with "Just Married" on it. There's like cans dragging on the ground, and there's zombies following the cans as they drag behind the newlyweds' car. We cut from there to like the interior of an abandoned hotel. They're both lying inside a bed shaped like a heart. There's like wine in a crystal like decanter thing next to them.
Oh my goodness.
I never thought I'd feel like that after 3 husbands.
We cut to a close-up on Gloria's face as she explains why she never thought that she would find happiness again in her life and everything that she thought was wrong with the world.
You know, I've always thought that even before this, we were all just zombies in our lives, just trotting along and marrying a couple of times here and there until we found happiness. And I gave up, and then the whole world became actual
Right in the
zombies.
middle of this speech, he smacks her.
Did you just...
I'm sorry, I honestly don't know why I did that.
There's no domestic abuse.
I know, maybe this has all just been a whirlwind and things have
I'm
happened
calling
so fast.
911.
As she's reaching for the phone and holding it up to her ear, he grabs her, and we see that his hand is now zombified.
No.
You're not calling the cops because I'm gonna turn you into a zombie like me.
Before he can bite her, she rolls away, ducks under his hands and rolls away, and gets on the other side of the bed with a little bit of room to spare.
She grabs a lamp and smashes it over his head.
I thought you loved me. I thought you'd never change me.
I did, but then I got bit at the mall, and I concealed the bite
Why would you do that?
because I thought I was different. I thought I wouldn't change.
Everyone changes in my life. Everyone tries to change me in my life. and
We cut to another close-up on Gloria as she explains how everyone has let her down in the world.
My mom tried to change me, and I had to abandon her. Well, she abandoned me first. And then my first husband, he tried to make me eat more healthy, and I'm like, no. And then my second husband...
In the middle of this, he smacks her.
I can't even help it at this point. I'm just a zombie.
We cut to outside the hotel. We see her get into the car and try starting it, but it won't start.
No.
We see the janitor's hand tear through the soft top of the convertible.
Right next to his hand, there's a framed photograph on the photo next to them that's like now shattered.
Why?
Till death do us part.
We cut to another close-up on Gloria as all of this is going on. The hand is dangling above her, and she explains the importance of wedding vows and keeping them.
We made a promise to each other at that mall that we would be together till death do us part. But I don't know if I can go through with it. I didn't go through it the past 3 times. Why would I do it again?
Gloria looks straight at the camera as she gets her determination.
I'm keeping myself alive.
We cut to a close-up on her foot on the accelerator. It goes and we hear the car starting. We see the car fly out of there. The zombie janitor flies off the top.
We cut to her alone on the highway, we see her looking at signs that go by in the country.
A sign comes up that says "Abandoned Cabin" with an arrow pointing.
On it, it also says "Free library to anyone," and anyone is larger than anything on the billboard.
Maybe I need to get some rest. Maybe this abandoned cabin will be a safe place from zombies.
A chyron on the screen comes up that says, up later, Oprah's top 20 women of 2005.
We cut to the abandoned cabin that we know as the secret underground lair of the federal building. We see the car pull up and the rear bumper takes up the entire screen. There's a quick cut to a door slamming shut, and we see our heroine walking up to the cabin.
We see the other side of the door. General Mahoney opens it. We see a photograph behind him. It's the two of them. It's her first husband.
Well, well, well. Of all the people to make it through this alive.
The camera pulls back, out of the secret bunker, out of the woods. We slowly fade to black. Soft music comes up in the background. It's a cover of Heart. Very soft. Thank you for joining our Lifetime movie. Please watch more Lifetime. It's very important. And less zombies.
The credits begin to roll, and the end.
Thank you very much. We've been That's No Movie. Like That's No Movie Improv Comedy on Facebook. Thank you.